What makes a woman remarkable?
I love helping people, and I don't even need a thank you from them. Just to know that, I helped them means I know what I did in my heart.
Everything that I do, it lets me know that what we did do made a difference.
I honestly don't look at myself and say, wow, I'm doing all these great things. I'm not. I'm just doing a job just like anybody else.
Being able to do this as my day job, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like a mission that I get the privilege of carrying out each and every day.
Good evening, I'm Colleen Marshall. Thank you for joining me on this last night of Women's History Month. All month long, we here at NBC4 have been celebrating women by shining a light on some Central Ohio women you told us are remarkable. We received nearly 200 recommendations for women in our community who make the exceptional common, the extraordinary ordinary. And tonight, we want you to meet 4 who truly do define remarkable. We begin with Tracy Lewis. Since the late 80s, she's made it her mission to keep students in school, no matter what obstacle they might face.
My motto is, we're going to get you graduated by any means necessary.
And for the past 16 years, it's exactly what Tracy Lewis has done.
It's not often that you can find people that say that, I love my job, I love getting up in the morning and going and doing what I do. But I'm one of those people. I absolutely love what I do. My students make my day.
And she, in turn, makes theirs. Lewis has been working with Access Collaborative at Ohio State since 1989, where she's helped parenting students overcome obstacles that can prevent them from graduating.
Because if anything was to happen, guess what's going to go by the wayside so that they can, handle their business? It's not going to be their children. It's going to be school.
Through her work, the Access program helps with things from housing to childcare to medical costs. Her office, at times like a daycare center.
It would not be unusual to find a playpen in my office with a little one in it and, maybe another child that's sitting in the TV room.
Lewis helped create this space in the library for kids to play and read while mom or dad is busy studying. Right now, they serve just over 50 students and close to 100 children.
We have an 88% graduation rate. We have almost 90% of our students, are retained.
While you'd think parenting students may struggle academically, the average GPA is 3.4, and sometimes all they need is a shoulder to lean on. Tracy's good for that.
She was ready to give up, and I kept saying, no, you're not going to give up. You're going to finish this. Yes, we've run into some bumps. Yes, we've had some, roadblocks that we've had to overcome, but you're not going to give up.
And their children, or baby Buckeyes, as Lewis calls them, are also making strides. Like their parents, she's here for them too.
Not only are we celebrating moms who are graduating, but we're also celebrating kiddos that did something significant. Maybe they went from, kindergarten to first grade, or preschool to kindergarten, or middle school to high school. Maybe they successfully potty trained.
Those victories, just as valuable as their parents. Seeing her students years later is all the recognition Tracy needs.
It lets me know that what we did do made a difference, and that was what was important.
If you would like to learn more about Access Collaborative or to help support these parenting students, we have links on our website, NBC4i.com. Look for Remarkable Women under Local for You. Statistics show 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer during her lifetime. And our Audrey Hassan met a local breast cancer surgeon who never dreamed she'd become the one in that statistic.
That is definitely correct, Colleen. And now that Dr. Deepa Hariy is a survivor, she aims to inspire her patients through her story of perseverance.
My plan was to become a doctor since I was 5 years old, so I always wanted to be a doctor.
A journey that started for Deepa Hariy when her family immigrated to the United States from India when she was just 16 years old.
As immigrants, there's always, my dad always pushed us to work hard, be great at whatever you do, be honest, and you'll be successful in life as long as you are the best at whatever you do.
Just as she was getting ready to apply for medical school, her father suffered a stroke, so Deepa put her plans on hold to take care of him.
That taught me a lot about life, I think. That's where it all started.
She eventually went to medical school in Kansas City before moving with her husband and 2 children to Columbus in 2008. During her general surgery residency at Ohio Health, she met a young lady in her 30s who was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer.
She had 2 little kids like my kids, and I really connected with her, and she said, you should be a breast surgeon. You're so good with relationships and connecting with patients.
Inspired by her patient, Deepa eventually became a breast cancer surgeon in 2014. But sadly, around the same time, her father passed away, and she says he spoke to her in a dream.
I was telling him my right side of my chest hurts, and he said, you need a stat mammogram. This was 5 months after he passed away. So I went and got a mammogram, and so it was early stage cancer.
Just 8 months into treating her own breast cancer patients, Deepa discovered she was diagnosed with the disease.
I have no idea why I cry every single time with this, every time I talk about this, but who is better to get breast cancer than a breast cancer surgeon?
You have breast cancer are the words she says no one wants to hear. But after her own battle, Deepa's gained a greater compassion and empathy for her patients.
I have such a great desire to help them and see them through this crisis of being told you have cancer to this. Now they are not just a survivor, but a warrior. And they just have this new outlook on life.
Dr. Deepa's now started a podcast with her fellow breast cancer survivor to help patients understand their diagnosis. They also create unique and engaging TikTok and Instagram videos to try and remain positive for patients as they fight the disease.
My hope with this podcast is not just to educate and empower people, but also to know that it's not the end of the world, that cancer does not take away who you are as a person. It still provides hope.
She also aims to raise awareness for early screenings and prevention, especially in African American and LGBTQ populations, with her free virtual lecture series.
They have a lot of fear of discrimination. They've had negative experiences in the past. They've been rejected from getting appropriate care by providers.
As she honors her father and her daily goal to be the best breast cancer surgeon, Deepa says she was completely surprised by her NBC4 Remarkable Woman nomination.
It was truly unbelievable. It was very humbling. And, I honestly don't look at myself and say, wow, I'm doing all these great things. I'm not. I'm just doing a job just like anybody else.
But she believes she's simply been called to not only help her breast cancer patients become survivors, but empower them to become thrivers and warriors.
To whom much is given, much is expected. I have always believed in that. I'm just incredibly blessed with the things I'm able to do.
Ohio Health Foundation has a fund specifically to help breast cancer patients in need. If you would like to lend your support, you can find a link to donate on our website. When we return, we meet a remarkable woman who served our country and now serves those in need. Politicians on both sides of the aisle have been fighting to bring Afghan refugees to the U.S. And as Jennifer Bullock tells us, they're getting some help from a remarkable woman right here in Central Ohio.
There are infinite ways to describe a woman we see as remarkable. For our next nominee, the list seems nearly as long. She was born in Afghanistan and immigrated to the U.S. when she was 13. 4 years later, she was inspired to serve her new home in the U.S. Air Force. A nearly 26-year military career is remarkable enough, but that's not why we are getting to know her today.
It's one thing to see human suffering and feel sympathy. It's quite another to witness scenes like these and be moved to action. Such is the way of this nominated remarkable woman. We'll call her Annie, though that's not her real name. The reason for that will be apparent in a moment. Annie has always been known by friends and family as a woman of action. When COVID hit, she was the one they turned to for help, navigating all the unknowns, from filing for unemployment to filing taxes.
I know it's weird. I was going to get my degree in accounting, and so I'd like to do taxes. So word got out, so I started doing taxes for people.
When most of the world saw COVID as the #1 crisis in their lives, a more urgent one emerged for Annie and those in her birthplace.
And then obviously August 15th happened.
The collapse of Afghanistan's government to the Taliban.
a lot of us that saw it with our own eyes, especially those first few days where we were, my own relatives are trying to get through the gate of Kabul and can't get through the airport, and, hearing the shooting. To say it's heartbreaking or to say it doesn't even really come close.
Heartbreak turned to desperation as more relatives, including a young niece, called Annie, begging for help.
Oh my God, it broke my heart. And she's just crying hysterically. She's like, they tell me I'm never going to see my parents again.
Annie worked day and night, coordinating efforts to get the right papers into the hands of Afghan refugees. She also connected with other veterans and nonprofits doing the same work, despite the risks of potential Taliban retribution.
If I couldn't do anything, and when I first started, I didn't think I could do anything. But these nonprofit organizations on Mad Online, they're just as passionate as I am. Without getting into too specifics because of security risks and stuff like that, within these groups, we've saved hundreds and thousands of lives already, not just from starvation, but providing, a little bit of safe places to stay and things like that. We had one group that finally made it to the U.S. It was 3 of them, plus they had a baby, and she's 2 months old now. Yeah. She is just adorable. And I see her and I'm like, okay, that's what makes it all worth it.
Annie was surprised and humbled to be nominated as a remarkable woman.
I learned a long time ago, you let your actions speak for themselves instead of your words. If you are successful, reach back and help somebody else be successful. And that's where the humanity comes in. We're blessed, we have everything we need, but we've got to reach back and help the ones that don't necessarily have everything they need.
One of the many organizations Annie works with is Heart of an Ace. This nonprofit group helps supply food, shelter, and medical aid to people in need in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Ukraine, and the U.S. If you would like to learn more or get involved, we have a link on our website. Go to NBC4i.com and look for our Remarkable Women of 2022 page under Local for You. When we come back, a remarkable woman who isn't all talk. She is all action. The ability to forge partnerships, unite people, and lead teams toward a goal of improving our community is just a small part of why we recognize our next remarkable woman.
That's right, Colleen. For Angela Mingo, health and housing go hand in hand, and that's why it is her mission to improve Central Ohio neighborhoods and in turn improve the lives of Central Ohio children.
As the Nationwide Children's Hospital Community Relations Director, Angela Mingo doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk with the Healthy Neighborhoods, Healthy Families Initiative.
This work started back in 2008. We set a bold goal of impacting 100 properties. At that time, we had just come off the housing bubble, and we saw a lot of foreclosures in this community. And there were no comps even to base the housing work that we set forth to do on. So we really didn't know what we were starting with, but we knew we wanted to make an impact. And so that goal has now turned into over 400 properties being impacted, thanks to Nationwide Children's Hospital. So making sure that we're focusing on removing the blight in neighborhoods and improving health outcomes through affordable housing is what we've been working on.
What she's been able to do behind the scenes with housing and just impacting the city and just like the health of the community is just phenomenal.
Which is why her team member, Jonathan Alexander, felt compelled to recognize Angela as a remarkable woman in Central Ohio.
She's not just talking about it, she's actually stepping up doing it. And I just think you give credit where the credit's due. I mean, she's earned it, man. She's done a heck of a job with this program and the hospital and just inspiring people.
The nomination was something that Angela never expected.
I was truly humbled and surprised. I was grateful that my team thinks so much of me, and I have to say that, the work that I do, it is thanks to amazing team members who come to work each and every day wanting to make an impact in the lives of children and families that really gets this work off the ground. And so being able to lead and inspire inspire a team to do this work really gives me a great feeling and exhilaration each and every day coming to work. It's just a great sense of pride and joy in knowing that the work that we do each and every day is touching a young person, it's touching a family, it's making a very tangible difference. It is creating environments where children can grow healthy and they can thrive where they are. And so being able to do this as my day job, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like a mission that I get the privilege of carrying out each and every day.
If you are looking for ways to make a difference for young people in our community, Angela suggests becoming involved with Greater Columbus Community Helping Hands. This organization focuses on providing services and programs to support education and opportunities for young people. We have a link for them on our website, NBC4i.com. Up next, we find out which of these women is our remarkable woman of 2022. Worthy of attention, being uncommon, exceptional, and extraordinary. These words define what it means to be remarkable. And today is all about shining a spotlight on remarkable women. Ladies who go about their day with little to no fanfare while making a positive impact. Women like Tracy Lewis, who helps young mothers realize their choices in life are not one or the other, that they can be both a mom and a graduate.
It's not often that you can find people that say that, you know, I love my job, I love getting up in the morning and going and doing what I do. But I'm one of those people. I absolutely love what I do. My students make my day.
And those students return the affection. And she's heard many times over,
"Oh my God, you just made such a big difference in my life." And she gave me the biggest hug. I can't say it enough. That's what it's all about.
There's also Annie, who is risking her own personal safety to get people out of one of the most volatile places on earth. No matter the challenge, when she sees a need, she jumps into action.
I love helping people, and I don't even need a thank you from them. Just to know that, you know, I helped them means I know what I did in my heart.
Also in today's spotlight, Dr. Deepa Hariy, a caregiver who embodies the sentiment, "Walk a mile in my shoes." Her personal journey through breast cancer gives her patients comfort and hope.
How else are you going to know what patients feel like unless you have walked the walk and received the news that you have cancer? I think as a result, I've gained more empathy and kindness and compassion.
And of course, there's Angela Mingo, who believes health and housing are one and the same, especially when it comes to children.
We know that a child's zip code can be a greater definer of their health outcomes than their genetic code. And for us, it matters where children live and where we can make an impact. For me, you know, knowing that housing is an intersection with health has been what motivates me to do this work each and every day.
Talk about inspiring. Each of the women we introduced you to this evening is an outstanding example of the good in our community. I'm honored to share that Annie has been named our Columbus Remarkable Woman for 2022. Her story and the work that she does to help others, both here in Central Ohio and all around the globe, will now be considered for our parent company, Nexstar's National Remarkable Woman. And we thank you for helping us lift up all of the women we met here this evening. Central Ohio is filled with remarkable women, making our community a better place. And we salute each of you. Have a good night.